All right. Hey, family. Welcome back to Doing Life with Deja. So, I just want to answer some questions I've been getting. I want you guys to just kind of hear my perspective, share my thoughts. Real simple, real easy. But the first question I got was, how do you begin to self heal from a relationship by forgiving? So, forgiveness is such a deep topic. I feel like we hear the word forgiveness a lot. We hear, hey, you're supposed to forgive. But not all the time do we know how to do it. Do we have the steps? That type of thing. I can be honest with y'all and say that forgiveness was something that was hard for me. I feel like I grew up and I was kind of taught to hold grudges. And I'm not saying someone said to me, hey, you should hold grudges. But a lot of people that were close to me did hold grudges. I watched people, fall out with people that they loved. And because they were just so controlled by that offense, they never took the step to forgive. So, to be honest, I just thought that, okay, if I'm offended, then I just distance myself from that person. I don't really talk to them again, or whatever the case may be. That's kind of like how I grew up and trained myself. Um, but as I continued to grow older, I got in a better community. I started to actually seek advice on these types of things. There's something that was said to me that really, really stood out to me. And I think it was this moment that really changed the way that I looked at what forgiveness actually was. So I was told, and they use this analogy, they said that having unforgiveness in your heart is like setting yourself on fire, but expecting the other person to just choke or burn from smoke inhalation. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but like inhaling smoke. But the point I'm trying to make is you do more damage to yourself by not forgiving than you do to that person. So just some steps that I feel like I took. There was a lot of close relationships. I'll just be specific with family members, close family, that at one point in my life, I had so much unforgiveness towards them. I didn't speak to some of them. And I'm not saying that it didn't bother me, but I had kind of trained myself to just, it is what it is. This is where we've come. The things that they've said to me, the things that they've done to me, I can't forgive them. I just don't want to deal with them. That was the space that I was in. But what really helped me, of course, was understanding what the word says about forgiveness. Like I said, that example I just gave you guys about, realizing that as much as I was trying to act like, oh, I'm tough, I don't care, it was still bothering me. It was still affecting how I governed other relationships. It started to make me not want to get close to anybody because I just always had this mentality of if I let them close to me, that they'll hurt me. And that's not true. People come into our lives all the time. And you guys have heard me speak about this before in other videos, but community and people are really what allows us to, one, connect, grow, and we were always created to be in community. So I say that to say, I started to change my perspective and I started to realize that in the same way that I started to feel broken, in the same way that I was letting those things hinder the way that I was growing, I started to put myself in their shoes. I started to think about that we're all imperfect people. We've all had things that have happened to us. We all are a product of sometimes the environment that we come from. And if that individual hasn't necessarily had the tools to step out and change that reality, or had people in their life that made them realize the importance of forgiveness, how do they know how to treat me a certain way, right? So I started to basically love them for them. I started to see that, okay, this person might be going through something as well. I started to just have way more grace and understanding. In addition to that, I think forgiveness has a lot to do with communication. Some situations you really can't reconcile, right? I'm not saying that, if you've been abused by someone that you should just be back in their face. And no, I'm not saying that. But you do have to forgive the offense. You do have to move on from it so that you can heal properly. But I'm speaking more about those relationships. Let's just say it's a friend, or like in my case, a family member, right? You have to really ask yourself, if something was to happen tomorrow to that person, is this thing that I'm that mad about that serious? And 9 times out of 10, it's not. It just takes a conversation. It takes uncomfortable conversations and just being open and honest to see their perspective. Hope that they see yours as well. So those are just a few steps that I would take when it comes to just forgiveness, when it comes to changing your perspective on the people that you are forgiving. And even like always, pray about these different types of situations. Speak to wise counsel about it. Sometimes it's even good to have someone maybe mediate, someone that doesn't have a biased opinion or anything like that. But sometimes it's best to be able to just reconcile those things, not just one on one, but like I said, having someone there as well to be able to communicate and talk to both of you guys from different perspectives. So as always, I want to leave you guys with a couple of verses. Colossians 3:13, 1 John 1:9, and Ephesians 4:32. So y'all go look those up. Y'all read them. Talk to me in the comment section. Let me know. Is there some things that you have been holding on to when it comes to unforgiveness? Are there some people that you need to forgive? Or even, like I said, if you need some help, if you want to get deeper, if you want us to have a one-on-one conversation, I'm always just one message away. So don't feel far. Don't feel like you guys can't reach out. And thanks for tuning in.